Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings just gave us a super clear picture of the superheroes' future in the MCU, and it involves a lot more characters than we thought. Let's talk about that ending.
Will I see you at the Doctor Strange 2 junket?
You will see me on opening night of Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness. I will be first in line and enthusiastically cheering and hooting and hollering along with everyone else.
BD here with your breakdown of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and that ending more specifically. I could talk for hours about Easter eggs like how I spotted an extremis soldier, you know, the guys from Iron Man 3, in Jai Ling's Fight Club, or how found footage from Tony Stark's capture from the first Iron Man is on a security camera at one point in the movie. But we're going to focus this video on the ending and those two post-credit scenes, which were amazing. If you want to talk more, though, Shang-Chi himself, Simu Liu, is joining our Phase Zero podcast on Wednesday, September 8th, so be sure to download and subscribe on any major podcast platform. But let's get to the ending. Shang-Chi took an unexpected turn when his father Wenwu was summoned by the Dark Gate in Ta Lo, which is not just another planet with Pokemon-like creatures on it, it's an entirely different universe from the main world of the MCU. In the history lesson from Michelle Yeoh's Ying Nan about the Dark Gate, the creatures she describes and the ones we see come from the gate later look very similar to those from a more recent Shang-Chi comic run titled Brothers and Sisters. The comics creatures were minions of Dormammu, the villain we saw in the first Doctor Strange movie. So I'd also like to note the big giant evil dragon that Shang-Chi mangled the insides of with the Ten Rings, well, its neck, when it did its little Godzilla power-up charge thing by eating souls, certainly had a resemblance to that look of Dormammu in that design and purple glow we saw in that Doctor Strange movie. Now, the Ten Rings seeping into Wenwu's brain like the ring in Lord of the Rings did to Gollum seems like a real dark magic play. It drove the man mad and made him believe his dead wife was calling to him from beyond that dark gate, so this seems like it could be a Mephisto thing. Mephisto's a character we all keep saying should be showing up any second now because in comics, Mephisto's soul helped create Wanda's kids, Billy and Tommy Maximoff, who were introduced in WandaVision earlier this year, and Mephisto was the villain behind Peter Parker's identity crisis story, which cost him all the good things in his life in the One More Day comic, which seems to be inspiring Spider-Man No Way Home's story. That said, Dormammu could take on a very similar role to Mephisto for the MCU's version of these characters if they don't want to bring the devil into the movies. I would go as far as saying Dormammu may have given the Ten Rings their power like he did for Caecilius in the first Doctor Strange movie. Given that he is a multiversal being, that would explain why Carol Danvers and Bruce Banner are not able to figure out where the rings are getting their powers from in the first post-credit scene, and why Wong and Doctor Strange are on the case. Ying Nan might know something about this too, because when she found out Wenwu was coming, she asked if he has been wearing the rings in a very I know something you don't kind of way. Watch it again. Also, Dark Dimension, Dark Gate, Dormammu confirmed, maybe, I don't know. As for where Doctor Strange is, well, he is probably busy with Peter Parker or somehow trapped in another universe doing some sort of Doctor Strange business is my guess, because this seems like something the Sorcerer Supreme would be very interested in investigating, so I'm not exactly sure why he's not in the post-credit scene. We don't know when exactly in the MCU timeline these scenes are set, so we can't be sure if it's before Doctor Strange brings all of Spider-Man's variant villains to the MCU, or after, or before, during, or after his Multiverse of Madness movie. So I turned to Shang-Chi director Destin Daniel Cretton, who was obviously going to tell us everything we needed to know about this first post-credit scene.
We wanted to end this movie with some very clear questions and doors that we are opening to send Shang-Chi into the future, and we knew by the end of this movie we wanted Shang-Chi to be able to stand right up there with all of our other favorite heroes of the MCU. So it was very important to try to get some people like Captain Marvel and Bruce into the equation to show that moving forward, Shang-Chi is going to be a real hero just like the others.
Shang-Chi executive producer Jonathan Schwartz tells me the end of this movie makes it very obvious where we'll see Shang-Chi again, so it's gotta be Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, right? I mean, he hinted in our interview that Wong and Abomination were picked based on their next appearances and where their stories are going, so something tells me all roads lead to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Then there's the second post-credit scene, which sees Jai Ling sit on the throne of the Ten Rings. This one feels self-explanatory, but you can turn to comics for more digging, which seems to offer a story that they're teasing for a sequel. In the books, Shang-Chi's sister doesn't get the respect she's owed, much like she doesn't in the movies, and there are multiple factions called the Five Weapons Society. She is the head of the Hammer faction and goes by Sister Hammer, leading an army that is ready to take down her brother and pretty much anyone else, so she can finally take control of what she feels is hers after her father and her brother and everyone else abandoned her and never put respect on her name. Whether or not they're going that route in the inevitable Shang-Chi sequel is unclear, since they seem to just kind of become friends by the end of this movie, but here's what Manger Zhang had to say about it.
I don't know anything about that, but I just cannot wait to find out more for my character with the audience together. And yes, let's go.
Reaction time. I love this movie. I think these characters are fantastic and interesting with or without the backdrop of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Marvel's Phase 4 has done a really good job of making me want more stories with a lot of characters like Wanda, Sam Wilson, Loki, Yelena Belova, and now Shang-Chi is at the top of the list. Is it recency bias? Maybe. But I think this movie was at its best when the characters were at its front and the personal family drama was the driver. The big blowout with the dragons at the end was cool, but I loved the more personal character-driven moments with the in-your-face gritty epic kung fu sequences. To say I'm excited to see where these characters and their relationships go would be an understatement. Give me more immediately. What do you want to see in a Shang-Chi sequel? What do you think the post-credits scenes mean? And do you think Abomination looks different from his The Incredible Hulk appearance because he is a variant? Share your thoughts in the comment section and leave a hashtag Wong Supremacy in the comment section to let us know you watched this video through to the end, and give us your Shang-Chi rating out of 10. Hit me up anytime on Instagram at BrandonDavisBD and join me on the Phase Zero podcast for a deeper dive and full reaction to Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I'm BD. I'll see you there.